Hello friends. Hi, how are we today? I hope we're all doing well. I am here for probably one of my favorite spreads that I do every single year. It's got a lot of different variations. I will definitely try and find the last one on the channel and link it up in the description above. But if you go back in my channel, it's usually, in there somewhere. Maybe not last year because I had a literal child coming out of me, but this is truly one of my favorite spreads, and I do a black and white washi spread, and this year I decided to add in gray tones just for funsies. Tell me what you think about it in the comments down below. I don't know how I feel about the gray in there, but I love the black and white. So if you're wondering where my washi is from, it is Simply Gilded, and it is with the hollow foil. It is my favorite washi. It's the one I use the most. Honestly, I know I preach use your stuff, and I'm a little bit worried about running out of this because, Irene doesn't really bring back stuff in her shop like this very much. I wish she'd bring back the classics a little bit more. But all of the washi that I use in this video, you might see some of the grid washi. I elected not to use it only because it wasn't foiled. But I came in and I found two sets of habit trackers for the sidebar, and those happen to be from the Prairie Planner. And then the currently reading script underneath, this one's actually from Murdoch Talks, and then the Monday through Sunday is from Sweet Tea Sticker Co. So I use that to fill in my sidebar, and then I was really procrastinating here. I just wanted to start my day and not have to do the washi full boxes, but here we are. Washi full boxes are starting, and I use the gray up in the corner just as like a different emphasis. I was going to do black and white. I didn't know how I felt about it. I just didn't, I think the gray turned out really well, although for some reason on camera, and it definitely doesn't look like this in person. So firstly, I switched out that gray for a different gray. I wanted a dove gray. That gray just didn't work. It just didn't look well. The gray that I currently have is the gray that I wanted it to look like, but for some reason on camera, it looks green. But I promise you, it's just a gray with a cool undertone. I don't know why it's looking green on camera, but I promise you it is gray. In person, it kind of is closer to the gray of the Monday through Sunday. So that is that. And honestly, this part took me forever. I sped a lot of this spread up to 6 times the speed, and it still feels like it took forever to do. I put a lot of time into this. I also put a lot of time into my Instagram reels for this. I can't express to you guys how much I love doing spreads like this, and I have more of them upcoming. I really want you guys to stay tuned for the next video after this one, which will be the March 1st kit lineup. I am doing this again in my March spread with all green washi. That is a fact, ladies and gents. All green washies, shades of green. I was about to make a very silly joke about like shades of gray, but I digress. One of my favorite parts about this at the moment is that, ooh, my top header there is quite crooked. I don't know is that going to bug me? Definitely I had to fix those middle ones. Anyway, the point is, I'm really, really excited about my spreads, and these kinds of spreads are really, really nice. They allow me to be a creative in a way I'm not normally creative. Like, I am imaginative, but I couldn't create a kit. But I have the tools to help me create a spread, knowing what I know. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. It's time consuming. So this whole video that I am going to show you, it's 15 minutes long. The actual timing, considering the fact that I sped up a lot of this to like 6 times the speed, the actual time it takes me to do one of these is well over an hour, and I didn't even film a lot of the laying down this washi because I did not think that you guys would find it interesting for me to do the day by days on this one. But I think it looks good. And then I just alternated this little foiled dot washi on the bottom here. Um, I really like how it turned out. I like visually when you guys get to the end of the day, it looks very visually appealing. So here I just skipped over. I had shown you I did a couple of days. If you want to go, you can see my short. I will link my short up in the description. Um, but it's really a breakdown of how I do the boxes. I love how the hollow is turning up on camera. I must say, it is just hollowing. It's pretty little hard out. But let's get into it. So for every daycare this week, I used Clever Gal Crafts, and I noted daycare drop off. Next up, I used Sweet Tea Sticker Co. for the next two. I did groceries, and then I deep cleaned the bathrooms in my home. And then a Fox and Cactus sticker, I went for a 2-kilometer walk. That afternoon, my kid, for some reason, utterly unconsolable, and I have a Coffee Monsters Co. icon to note that. And I had my husband tackle the garbages. Well, I didn't even have to. He just did it himself because at this point our town was on strike, so he had to take everything to the dump. Then I pulled in the neutrals from the Coffee Monsters Co. subscription, and this just was a checklist. I received my work equipment on this day, and I used a Prairie Planner little pillow to note that I had a 1.5-hour nap. The next day, I had another hard night with my kid, another Coffee Monsters Co. emoji. Was tired. And then I don't know if you guys have seen the Prairie palettes, but and I actually don't even know if they're still a thing, but Stacy has them from the Prairie Planner, and I bought this black one ages ago, and I thought it's just going to be very, very, very useful. And I found that it is very, very, very useful. So I'm glad that I have it. I pulled in a lot from that. So we went to Toys R Us, and then we went to the grocery store just to pick up a couple of things we couldn't get at our regular store. And then I went to the dollar store to pick up wrapping paper. We had a lot of birthdays this weekend, and the dollar store is really the best place. And I'm just showing you the Prairie palette here because honestly, truly, it is what I pulled into a lot on this spread. That afternoon, I had another nap because hideous night with my kiddo. And then we went to the park, a Coffee Monsters Co. emoji for that. And then I watched TV with my husband, which again, we didn't do that. So we've been making a little bit more of a conscious effort to do that. Then the top was feeling a little bit bare to me. So I pulled in a strip of the black washi. I don't know. Again, tell me how you feel in the comments down below. I don't know if I like it or not at the top, but it does pull the page together. On Wednesday, I had another day of daycare drop off, and then I had a Maru sticker to note that I was caught in the rain on the way home from night, totally drenched, but it was fun. I like the fall weather. And then this was when I realized that my kiddo was like tremendously badly teething. He was not happy. Another Coffee Monsters Co. emojis. Those transfer ones are really coming in clutch for me. Then I pulled in a day extender. Because I had a lot to mark in the afternoon. I did use a bigger emoji in the morning area. I could have probably used a smaller one, but I wanted to use up a full sheet. So I read a lot on this day, and I read during my kid's nap. I was just reading on my phone on my e-reader, as well as a physical book. And I marked another map with a paper and milk Maru. And then that evening, my kid hates showers. So I had to have him have a shower that evening. He just got so muddy. He had a shower instead of a bath, and it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. Then I got Happy Mail from Simply Gilded and my bestie Carly, my bestie in the West. So that was nice. But then I had to use this medicine icon. My big guy was coughing up a lung, and it turns out, and I think we found out later this week on Thursday, he needed a puffer. We had no idea. So whenever he was getting sick, he was coughing for weeks. Like, he would be healthy, but he'd be coughing for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. It was really, it was a hard night. Like, I wouldn't have marked it if it wasn't like tremendously hard. It was really upsetting. And then that night, my husband and I like chit-chatted and we're like, what are we going to do about the kids? Blah, blah, blah. Cause we're parents. So then moving on to Thursday, another day of daycare drop-off. It was a really light day. It was another rainy day. I love this Maru in the gray. I just like this Maru in the rain. Like, it's such a cute little icon. But I didn't have a lot to mark, so I pulled in the white washi just as dividers for everything during the day, and I feel like that turned out pretty well. And then in the afternoon, I noted with another Maru that my big kid had a really bad cough, and I think I probably ended up taking him to the clinic and got a puffer, blah, 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 blah. This is what we were doing. But you can see why I needed to speed this up. This was a very, very slow plan with me. And then I was like, should I add anything extra to Thursday? I didn't have anything extra to add to Thursday. So I was like, okay, I'll just make it pretty. Friday, same thing, daycare drop-off. Again, he wasn't sick. He just had a lingering cough, and it wasn't like a contagious cough. We got it all checked with the doctor. And then that day, I managed to do a 5K walk, and I ended up at Starbucks, which we no longer support. And both of those are from the Prairie palette. Excuse me, stuttering this morning. And then that afternoon, I tidied the kitchen, and that's a leftover from Dash of Sun Designs, which is opening March 1st. So you guys should all go check her out. I had another nap, and then I finished Ninth House by Leah Bardugo. I highly recommend you guys all check it out. If you want fantasy, but maybe set in like a realistic world, it's a fantasy set in modern day Harvard. Very cool. Very cool. Then the next morning, Saturday, very calm morning. So I used the like candle icon just to note it. I don't know. Candles make me think of calm. And then I had one of my big kid's friends' birthday parties that day from 9:30 until 12:30. And then after that, I just forced both of the boys to have some quiet time because we had a big afternoon. After that, my husband got home. I did my hair and my makeup, and then we went to the second birthday party, which was wild, from 4:45 until 7 p.m. So very long days for little children, and very, overwhelming, overstimulated days. Afterwards, my husband and I stayed up late after the kids went to bed, and we just had drinks and chit-chatted for a while. Again, we're trying to make a conscious effort to do that more. So that was really, really nice. So everything except for the stay up late part on the second half of the day is from the Prairie Planner, and then the quiet time was Fox and Pip. Moving on to Sunday, I had too many drinks and was hungover, but it was a very calm morning. Nothing special. We just chilled all together as a family. And then my husband, bless his entire soul, was like, I think we need to do some housework. So he went ahead and tackled the housework, and I just played with the kids, which was fun. But I am a laundry person, so he did the hard housework, and I just did the laundry. It was teamwork. We're a team. We're a good team. And then after that, I had a 2-hour nap again with my kiddo. Then I used another one of those Coffee Monsters Co. emoji heads with the witch's hat. It was pumpkin carving night. So my kiddo and I carved pumpkins together, and then from the neutrals from that same sheet from the Coffee Monsters Co. I budgeted, and then I just played in my planner the rest of the night. So really, I know that it seems like this was a very quick plan with me, but this took so long to do. But I'm so proud of it. I think it turned out so beautifully. So again, let me know in the comments down below. Do you use your washi and create spreads like this? Or how do you use your washi? Do you use leftovers? Like, what do you do with your leftovers, and what do you do with your washi to use it and have fun? Because I really, really, really enjoy this. And here I was debating whether or not I should put those headers in. And I was like, no, I don't really want to bring in the colors for it. But I'm glad. I think this turned out so well. And I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to mark the pumpkins. And again, I don't know why I hadn't pulled it into the page. I guess because I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with it. but I think it turned out really well. I'm really happy with it, and I really hope that you enjoyed it too. Anyway, I will see you in the next video. I hope you are all staying safe and well. Toodles!